Hey, what's up guys? My name is Andre, Cargo Trace Limited, and in this video I want to show you how you can make a brand for your product and sell it on Amazon or eBay or any other website on the internet, and what kind of benefit it gives you, how much does it cost, what the minimum required, and so on. And so first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Andrei Vinogradov, and I've been doing wholesale business in China for now 10 years, from 2012. Unfortunately, my old channel on YouTube, I can't get an access, but you can still find my old channel. But unfortunately, because the SIM card I lost, and the Google doesn't allow me to withdraw my password. So, but I have another channel in the Russian language, and you can see it's actually much more going on there. I mean, as far as how many videos we upload and how long that channel exists. And so if you're interested, also please check it out. So let me start from the branding. A lot of times people get confused because, like in US or in other countries, sometimes the factory is the brand. Like, for example, like, I don't know, like Mercedes-Benz factories, they do Mercedes-Benz. They don't do some BMWs, right? It's a different brand. They don't do that. And they basically primarily do their own cars. Or like, for example, Tesla. Tesla is American brand, right? And Tesla made in Texas, in the Tesla Gigafactory, and it basically does only Tesla. It doesn't do Toyotas, right? So, and the same thing about many other products that are made in USA, that the factory and the brand is the same thing. But in China is a different story. In China, most factories, they kind of like a labor force. Like you can create an idea of your name or like your brand, and you can choose existing patterns. Like for example, it could be any kind of goods on the planet. And as you noticed on Amazon, a lot of times that the completely similar products just have a different brand. So you probably already saw it hundreds of times that exactly the same products have a different name. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. So basically, those kind of products made on the same factory, but different buyers order it with a different branding. And normally those type of factories, they don't do their own brand. So for example, I just want to show you one of our customers. He does his own brand of the music instrument here. I hope you can see it. So this is a music instrument, and you can see that the branding can be here, can be on the manual, and also he could have ordered the branding on this bag, and as well as the branding on the box too. He didn't order branding on the box, and that's what you should decide, because it might increase the price a little bit. For example, like it could be like 1 Chinese yuan more to do printing on the box, or to do different material of the box, and maybe printing on this black bag will also require maybe 0.1 yuan or something like that. And the printing your own manual also could require additional investment. So depending on your needs, you need to decide if it's worth for you or not. Because for example, if you have retail store, or you sell in a mall, or you sell in the supermarket, then the white box doesn't look that attractive, right? It's actually might be even illegal to sell in the white box, because it doesn't have the requirements that have to be like explained well what's inside there. So, but if you sell on Amazon, people don't care about the packaging, right? They just open the box and throw it away. So why would you need to care and pay additional cost of a beautiful box printing if the box doesn't matter? People just cut it off and throw it away, right? So that's why you have to decide the way you sell it and then you can just you can just decide exactly where you wanted to put a brand. That's why this customer, he ordered only to put the brand on the product itself, but not anywhere else. And for example, about the manual, if your market is US and you need everything in English language, then of course, if the manual already in English, probably doesn't make sense to do anything else with a manual. But for example, if you want to sell in Latin America, where people mostly speak Spanish except Brazil, so you probably should translate it to Spanish, because not every people in Latin America can speak English, right? So it would be much more convenient for them if the manual already in Spanish. So, and then in your listing online, you can mention that we have a Spanish manual, which will be like advantage for you, and you can actually raise the cost compared to those who was too lazy to translate it, And so besides branding itself, you can also change the packaging. Like, for example, you see this black bag included, but you could include something else, and whatever it could be, depending on the product. So, and it just goes as much as your fantasy goes. I will give you an example. I saw many times that when people sell protector screen for the mobile phone, and some sellers on Amazon include like a big plus, and some even include earphones. Some include like a plug for the hole where you put the earphones. So then it's kind of like a dust proof. So I don't know if it's really useful or not. Or you use like a ring like on the back of the phone to hold the phone in your hand. That ring is like included with a screen protector. Or there is like any other possibilities depending on your fantasy, depending on what kind of imagination you have. And this also gives you advantage, because if you have a different types of things included, there's basically already different types of product. And then means that you can sell for whatever price that you think is fair. So then you don't have to compete solely on the price range. Another thing is about branding is, like, if you don't have a brand and you just sell without a brand, some, like, let's say again, like this instrument, or let's say like a protector screen for mobile phone, then what happens is you create a listing on Amazon, and you spend your time, take a picture, make a description and all that, but then you see that someone else selling also on your listing. And what happens is, if they put a 1 cent less than you, the buy it now button will be lead to their shop, not to your shop. So they will be selling inside your shop, basically. And to avoid it, you should make your own brand. Then if anyone selling with your brand on your listing, then you can you can send a message to Amazon, and they will remove that seller. And they normally do it pretty quick, like within a day or two. They should be able to remove that person from your listing, because he harmed your brand. He doesn't have, is an unauthorized seller. You didn't give him his right to sell. And normally to register your brand is just a couple $100 or something like that, and it's not require huge investment. For the amount of quantity, normally it depending where you want to put your brand. For example, if you want to put a brand directly on the product, normally it's like from 100 to 500 pieces. But for example, if you want to put a brand in like on a manual usually is 1,000 pieces for the manual. For the box also it should normally from 500 to 1,000 pieces. And I'm talking about like the shape of the box will be like standard, but it's just the print over the box will be different, the one you design. And that's the thing about the factories, they will not do design for you. So you have to go like on Fiverr.com or some kind of freelance website and order design for you by yourself. and then when you have a file ready, then we can help you to negotiate with the factory to make the way you want it. And my team, we have here many people who fluent in Chinese and native Chinese speakers, so we will be able to explain them exactly how you wish it to get done. And this is basically my warehouse. You can see it on other videos I do before. And basically we check your products, like we check the quantity of the products. Then we'll also take a picture for you in the office. We have here this box. It has a light inside. And we take a picture for you to make sure that before we ship, you confirm is exactly what you need. Because if you see that there is something wrong and it doesn't match that what you originally was expected, we could exchange before shipping it to US or anywhere you want to ship. It's much cheaper than ship it back to China, because shipping back to China is going to require a lot of cost. So that's why we send you the pictures first. You confirm the pictures, and then we pack it and ship it. For the packaging, if you need like a separate packaging for each box and put like the code for each package is also possible. Like for example, this customer, he didn't require that, but if you need us to print the labels and stick it to each box and put like in a plastic bag or some kind of envelope or whatever, like your idea is, that's all possible. So we can repack it and have individual packaging for each product before we ship to FBA or anywhere you want to ship it. Like if you have like a drop shipping office or whatever, like who's carrying your your fulfillment. If you have a fulfillment company that ships for you and you want us to have individual packing for each of your product, that is also possible and we can do. In another video that I made it a long time ago, actually, it's like maybe almost I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I will include the link somewhere here after the video finish. I explain you how you can choose the factory and how we can help you to buy from the factory. Because Alibaba is not the best place to buy in China, because it's obviously made for the foreigners, and it's better to buy as a local. Like if you are like a local person in China, you wouldn't even open Alibaba.com at all. You would go to 1688.com. And because the website is in Chinese language, it of course seems confusing. Besides, you can't even do anything by yourself. You need an agent like us to be able to buy there. Because we are in China, we have Chinese address, we have Chinese bank card, we have people who can communicate in Chinese language, because mostly sellers do not speak English in China. And also we have Chinese phone number and everything, basically what we need to get the product in our warehouse. So that's why you would need an agent if you want us to receive, check, repack, and forward it to anywhere in the world. You can also buy directly from Alibaba.com as well, and but there is other risks with that involved, because you don't really see exactly the products before you buy, most of the cases, and a lot of times Alibaba.com suppliers are just trading companies. So they basically are the same agents like us who pretend to be a factory. Like most of the sellers on Alibaba.com will tell you, we are the factory, but in fact they are not, because people thinking that I should buy directly from the factory, I should buy directly from the factory. That's why trading companies or agents in China will lie and say, I am the factory, but basically it's the same thing. So instead of lying and telling you, hey, I'm a factory, I'd rather be honest and say, we're agent, we're helping you to do this kind of service. We are not the factory, we are agent. And we can help you to buy directly from factories. Because factories, most of the time, they don't have a single person who can speak English. So it might be surprising, but it's true. Because I went personally to hundreds of factories over the course of my 10 years living in China. I went to hundreds of factories personally. And to my surprise, like 90% of them don't speak English. And the reason for that is that they don't want to they don't want to hire a whole bunch of people, like have a English translator, have a Spanish translator, have a Russian translator, have Arabic translator, have a Portuguese translator, French translator, German translator, and all that, all that kind of translators. There is hundreds of languages in the world, and they can't possibly have hundreds of salespeople. It's just not really, how would you say? It's not worth for them basically to hire that many people, and to how they will check each translator on each language that he's doing a good job. They don't even know this language, right? So that's why it's extremely different for the boss who doesn't speak all these 100 languages to see if the person really know what he's talking about and if he's doing a good job as a salesperson. So that's the reason factories normally actually don't have any language except Chinese. So, and that is the reality in China. And normally factory owner and the factory itself, they focus how to make the product cheaper, faster, and then they just build a chain of agents in China who speak on different languages. That's why normally there is like 5 or 10 or 20 agents who sell the same product, but they buy from the same factory. So normally is one factory have 20 sellers on Alibaba. So you buy from different sellers, but it's actually the same factory. So, and another disadvantage is that those agents on Alibaba.com, they don't have warehouse like us. So they don't receive first, they don't do inspection, they don't repack it for you, they don't take pictures for you. They basically just a middleman who just get a commission just because you buy through them. But they don't do any service for this. They just charge you for this, an additional, I don't know, like 3%, 5%, 10%, 20%, depending on the product. They charging you, and they just charging you because you just buy from them. That's it. They don't have a warehouse. So, and that's the disadvantage for you, because we double check for you what you're going to get. Because in Alibaba.com, the seller on Alibaba normally also doesn't know what is going on. He just send money to the factory, and the factory ship to you directly. Normally it's like that. Or they send to the forwarded company who just ship it. They don't do any additional services. That means that Alibaba.com seller, he have no idea actually what you're going to get. So he didn't see the product. And he's saying, I'm the factory. So, and there is several ways to check that. And one way you can check if you still want to go ahead and do business with Alibaba.com sellers, I would do that. I would ask them address in Chinese language, because normally they're giving you address in English, and like English address in China doesn't make any sense. Like you take a taxi, you cannot call taxi and give them English address. They will not do anything. They will not be able to take you there. You put in, even you open Apple Maps or Google Maps or any maps, and you put English address in China, it's not gonna find anything. It doesn't work, you know. In China, you have to have Chinese address in Chinese language. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to find it. So that's why you have to ask them Chinese address. Then you can find some translator, some independent agent, or like something like that. And you pay them like maybe $50 or $100 or I don't know, a couple $100, and you ask them to go to that address and make a video for you to make sure it's really the factory there. Because even they giving you address in Chinese language, in Alibaba.com, normally this address leads to office, not warehouse, not factory, just office. And that office is agent office who just sit there, do the sales internationally, and they just middlemen. They just get commission because you fail to buy from the factory. So our way is a little bit different because we don't hide factory contacts or anything, or factory price. We just work based on commission basis. So you know exactly what price on the factory, the real price, and you know exactly how much you pay us for our service. That's the difference about us and the agent from Alibaba/factory, kind of factory. So, I mean, they're not really factory anyway. But that's one thing to test them. And normally they will have excuse like, oh, when you get to our city, we pick you up from the metro. And that way they're thinking like, they pick you up and they drive you to the factory. They let the factory know that they are coming with a customer. So guys acting like it's us, it's our factory. Okay. And that time, like, there will be no other customers. There will be you. And you will see that they even allow this agent to sit down in a boss chair and pretend he's a boss. But in fact, the boss just went out to eat because he don't mind. I mean, agent work hard. So, and that's how business is made in China, basically. It's based on this kind of lie that I'm the factory, but like anyone on Alibaba will tell you, I'm the factory. They have the beautiful picture of the huge factory. But in fact, when you go there, even if you find the real location, it's not really the same. Like if you see our warehouse is not a beautiful place. It's clean, it's dry, and that's what it matters. Like it doesn't matter like if it's a super beautiful warehouse, because what's matter is that your products, your goods are safe. It's safe from water, safe from anyone could steal it, because you see we have like we have metal frames on the windows. We have security cameras everywhere, so you can see that security cameras 24 hours recording, and night vision and everything. So that's why you know that nothing could happen, nothing could go wrong. Like you can see here, we have security cameras here, and of course our community have a gated community and have multiple cameras inside and outside the community too. So, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter how beautiful the walls are, if they have a scratch here or there, it doesn't matter. But to look better, normally on Alibaba they just upload fake pictures to just look better. So, and they have professional suits of some kind of, some gloves and some uniforms that normally no one wears during the normal work hours, only one time for the pictures, if those pictures was at the same factory. So don't get confused by those pictures and by those promises that I'm the factory and all that stuff, because normally they not. So, and the best way to reach me is by WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number will be somewhere below, and you can check my Facebook page, and better contact me by WhatsApp, and I will be able to help you. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you in the next videos. Bye.